Good evening. It's Monday, the 18th of January, 2021. Diane Hands bringing you Book for the Day, Human Crossings, 9 stories about refugees. And I've been reading to you a story written by Clara, olde, Heuvel, entitled A Treasure. And Obabu had been to see a lawyer to help him to not be forced to leave Germany. And this is where we got to in the story yesterday. The European Union to create the system with the first country of arrival. The second country where you arrive doesn't even look at the reason why you left Nigeria, since Italy had already given you an humanitarian status. You are already protected, in a sense, Mrs. Cohen explained. But my humanitarian status has already expired for 2 years. It's not valid anymore. You know, I lived in total poverty in Italy while I was awaiting my asylum decision. I lived in a house with other asylum seekers. The government paid for that, but after I was granted an humanitarian status, they just told me to look for my own place. They would only help people who had just arrived and awaited their asylum decision, not the ones who already obtained something. I could not find a job in Italy, therefore I could not have my own apartment. Of course, I was looking for a job, but the employment situation in Italy is so bad, even for Italian nationals. So, in the beginning, I had some friends who I met while I was in my asylum procedure. They let me sleep at their place, but after a while, they couldn't afford it anymore to have me over. I slept outside, close to a bridge, so I wouldn't get wet when it was raining. It was so cold outside, especially during winter nights, said Obabu. I have read about the situation in Italy. There are some churches that help, but unfortunately, they can only take a maximum number of people. One positive thing may be that there is a court in Hanover that issued a court decision in which it ruled that sending asylum seekers who have applied in Italy for asylum back to Italy would be a breach of Article 3 of the European Convention of Human Rights. That article proclaims that no person shall be subjected to inhumane or degrading treatment. If a court takes such a stand, then that person cannot be sent to the first country of arrival, but the asylum seeker needs to undergo his procedure in the second country, in this case Germany. Some courts said this about Greece, for example, since Greece was overwhelmed with asylum seekers. This means that the country does not live up to a human standard for the asylum seekers arriving there. Some courts even found that sending asylum seekers back to Hungary was not in accordance with Article 3 Asylum seekers were tortured there and had to live in cages like animals. But with Italy, most courts don't see a breach to the Article 3 rule. The courts are divided. Anyway, the court in the emergency procedure might have now ruled negative. Still, the German Immigration Office needs to request from the Italian authorities whether they are willing to take you back and by when. So we need to wait anyhow. And that is where we leave the story for today. And to find out more, join me tomorrow. Diane Hans. Human Crossings, 9 stories about refugees, can be found on Amazon and on its Facebook page. So, good night.